And he apparently has a good following among his own constituents. Right. There's even talk he may run for mayor.
Yeah, he could still run for mayor. I think he needs to lay low for a while and see where the polls go for a while. His congressional district is almost certainly going to be eliminated in the next round of redistricting. So he doesn't really have a seat to go back to at this point, and mayor may be the next choice. But honestly, if I were to bet right now, I think his most likely route is to go into broadcast journalism of some sort and become a sort of professional pundit. Even when he was in the House, he loved the television cameras, and he was on television far more than his colleagues, and he was actually very good at it. I mean, the sort of the shout fest that is cable television right now, he was pretty good at engaging on that level, and that would be my guess.
It's ironic that was his rise and fall, because he wasn't all that well known until he went ahead and did the cable network route, and he's quick, he's funny, and he is very good on TV, and that is what elevated his stature in the House, and then ultimately that is what led to his downfall, because it was the relentlessness of the exposure of what he was doing. There wasn't one picture, there were more and more and more, and all of that playing out under the 24-hour news cycle that we live in today was what drove him out the door.
Naphtali.
Yeah, that press conference was really something else. I mean, I think 99 out of 100 politicians would have issued a brief statement saying, I resign. And the fact that he chose to do it was fascinating in a way. And then he got heckled at his own farewell press conference. He got heckled and called a pervert by some people who were there. And why he'd subjected himself to that isn't clear, except for this need perhaps to be out there. But I think the broader political message is this is Democrats, their relief was just palpable when this happened. I mean, they felt like they, for the first time in 2 years, had a little bit of political momentum with this Medicare plan and with winning a seat in upstate New York. And then to have this blow up and then to have the guy not step off the stage and to resist leaving, I think was driving them crazy. And it was a concerted, unified, high-profile effort by his own party to get him to leave that ultimately he couldn't resist.
And very coordinated. That's what I found interesting in the story, is to see how they pushed him to the door. And you speak of the polls in his own district that are positive, and he used that as an argument with Speaker Pelosi about why he could maybe ride this thing out. And her line was beautiful. Let them be the rose petals to your exit. I thought that was poetry in a way that we don't see in politics very often while you're shoving somebody out of office.
What about the special election to fill his seat?
Well, what's almost certain to happen is that governor of New York will declare a special election, most likely for September, when other voting will be going on in New York. The way politics works in New York is that the candidate is going to most likely be picked by the political machine there, the Democratic candidate, and then there'll be a Republican candidate. But at this point, it's not a really desirable position, because that seat is probably going to exist for maybe 18 more months before it is eliminated in redistricting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key thing about it, is they have to find somebody who really wants to be in Congress and is willing to go out there and run an election and have a fight and get there, and then is perfectly happy to leave a year and a half later.